Hey everyone, it's Tiffany Shuri, and today I'm going to tell you the story about when I decided to quit my job at an adult store. So the night that I knew I wanted to quit, I had been working there for 2 years, maybe just under, around the 2-year mark, and I was working a graveyard shift in the city. So I was working from about 11 or midnight to about 7 or 8 in the morning. A few incidents happened pretty much all at once that got me to the point where I had to go out back, lock the doors. I was calling my boyfriend crying like, you need to pick me up, I can't work here anymore. At the store that we worked at, there was an upstairs area which was a cinema where you could go and watch movies. They also had booths with glory holes and whatever, like you could watch movies individually or you could watch them in a group. You could do whatever you fucking wanted up there, as long as it wasn't illegal. So you would pay 10 bucks to go upstairs, and there was this woman or this couple who would go upstairs and they would film. Now that is illegal because they were filming a bunch of other people, and we had so many complaints from customers as well that were like, I don't want to be filmed, like I don't know what they're doing. I think they were trying to start their own production company, very low budget DIY, I don't know. Anyways, because of the amount of complaints and how you're not supposed to film up there, we banned them from all of our stores, from our chain that we worked at. And we knew what the guy and the girl looked like, the couple that came in together. Now, this night that I was working, the woman came in, but she had dyed her hair. And I told her, I was like, I recognize you, I know you, I've got your face on security camera, you're banned from here, you can't go upstairs. So her boyfriend then came in and they were yelling at me, screaming at me across the counter, who do you think you are? I want to speak to your boss, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, my boss has already told you that you're banned from here, but if you want his number, here, take it. Bear in mind, we were a medium-sized company, so he had his number posted on the wall if anyone had any complaints. But generally, we would be working alone. Sometimes during busier parts of the day, we would have a helper who would be there for a certain amount of time, but most of the time it was just us. And on most graveyard shifts, it was just the one person, so it was just me who was here. We were supposed to have security from the nearby strip club, but that's another story time video for when incidents with security or lack of security have happened. Anyways, this night I was like, look, there's security outside. I'm very happy to call them. I'm happy to call the cops. I'm telling you, you need to go, you need to get out. And they left the store, but then about an hour later, the phone was ringing over and over and over again. And every time I answered the phone, it was a landline, so I'd pick up the phone and I'd say hi, welcome, thanks for calling, blah blah blah. How can I help you? And I would just start hearing screaming, just screaming, who the fuck do you think you are, you fucking bitch? I'm gonna come beat the shit out of you, you fucking cunt, you can't fucking ban me from the fucking store. I was just oh my god. So every time, it was to the point I didn't want to turn the phone off or have it off the turn the battery off, so that, because I needed to use the phone in emergency situations, and if I needed to call anyone, I needed the phone available. But they were tying up the line, just ringing constantly. So it was getting to the point where every time I would hear the phone ring, I was getting very stressed out. Then what happened is, customers were coming in, I was helping them, making sales, whatever, re-merchandising, and this guy wants to go up to the cinema. No big deal. We had quite a lot of people going up to the cinema, so get his 10 bucks, send him up on his way, whatever. This guy will play a part in the story soon. In between all this, these drunk girls come into the store, and we had a lot of drunk people come into the store quite often. The store was in a big part of the city where there was a lot of clubs and pubs. So these girls come in, and one of the products that we had at the time that we were just rolling out was a clit tickler, and this was an oil that would stimulate your clit basically. But we had a tester. So what you do if you wanted to test it out, because the membrane on the inside of your lips is the closest thing to your genitals, I would take a little drop or two, put it on a popsicle stick, and you would rub it on the inside of your lips, and then you would feel the tingling sensation. This girl, she takes the whole fucking bottle. She leans back and then is just fucking dropping it all over everywhere. just pouring it into her mouth, and I'm like, ma'am, can you please not, like, we need that bottle. And she didn't realize that it had peanuts in it, or like some kind of nuts, like I don't know, I don't know. Part of the ingredients was some kind of nut, and she was allergic to nuts. So she starts, like, her throat, she's like, oh my god, what's happening? And I don't know, like, I'm not trained in first aid, like, I really hope she's not about to go into like anaphylactic shock or some crazy shit. She starts vomiting everywhere. She spews all over the front counter. Like, I tried to run around with the bin so she can get it into the bin, but she misses, and it just goes all over like the, you know, discount DVD section. And I'm a sympathy spewer, and I'm trying very, very hard not to throw up as well. So her friend is like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. And she like takes her out of the store. Like, I don't know where the fuck they went. Like, I hope she's alive, I hope she's okay. But they leave, and I'm just sitting here like, okay. So I've got customers who are like, I need to be checked out, please. Like, I want purchases, please. And I'm like looking at this vomit that's everywhere. We have a cleaner, but he didn't come in for hours. So it's 3 in the morning, I think, around at this point, and I'm having to clean up all this vomit and clean up this spew, and trying very hard not to throw up myself. Then the man who went up into the cinema came downstairs. I should also mention that when you went up into the cinema, we had to take your items. Like, you couldn't take your backpack or your bags, and most people, they left their phone and wallet and things like that in a baggie behind the counter, so that way you wouldn't lose anything. It was safe, secure behind the counter with us. So he's like, I want my bag. So I give him his little baggie that I made full of his phone and his wallet, and he's like slamming shit on the table, and he's like, I want my money back. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, we don't give refunds if you were disappointed with the movies. Like, that's all it was a cinema. Like, you wouldn't get any refunds because you didn't like what was playing, and that's usually, if anyone ever would complain, that's usually what they were complaining about. He's like, no mate, it's not the movies, it's the and I'm like, what? Like, I really don't pay that much attention, you know. I make sure that you're over 18, I make sure that you're not taking anything else up in there with you, I make sure that you're not one of the people who are banned. But I don't, like, we wouldn't care if you were straight, if you were gay, if you were trans, if you, like, it didn't really matter. Like, you're going up there in a private area. If someone was to approach you for a sexual favor or to engage in sexual activity, all you have to say is no. If they become aggressive, then we can get security to remove them. Like, if they're, you know, it's just like being in a club. Like, if someone's being rude and aggressive and mean, then of course we will, you know, remove them if they're making all the patrons upset. But in this situation, it was very, very common for guys to go up to other guys, because it was mostly guys who were up there, and say like, hey, do you want to like mess around? And if someone didn't want to, they'd just say no, and it's like, okay, fair enough. This guy was just upset at the presence of a trans person in the theater. He's like, I can't believe that you got a trans person up there. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to be around that. It's bullshit. It's disgusting. He was just saying all these horrible things. And I'm like, dude, like, 1, you're not getting your money back. Like, 2, you're being a dick. And he's just like, you know, those people who, I don't know if you've ever worked in customer service, whether it's like on the phone or in person, those people who get so angry that they're calm. And especially with older men, it makes me quite uncomfortable. I don't know what it is about older men who get so angry in their voice when they're like calm, like they're about to snap, like they're very sounding like they're about to go fucking crazy. I don't know what it is. Something about older men who get like that. They're just like what's an example? Like, he was, you could tell that his anger was building up in his demeanor, but he wasn't yelling. Like, if someone's yelling and cursing at you, then you can at least say like, stop, you're not being professional, please, you know, you need to calm down or else get out. But when they get to the point when they're like, you need to give me my money back, or explain to me why this disgusting behavior is about, you know, like, they just get very like evil. And he was getting like that, and I'm sitting here like, I need to be, especially for these graveyard shifts, like, I need to remain as, I guess, powerful, you know, like it was very easy for people to try to walk all over me because I was just a younger girl. And if a bunch of guys were in the store and I'm like, hey, stop fucking playing with that dildo, they'd be like, yeah, whatever. Like, and I'm sitting there like, get out. They wouldn't listen to me. I know that this was different when we had one of our male coworkers who would work the graveyard shifts, and he wouldn't really have this issue as often. So I'm trying to have a very powerful demeanor and being like, look, like this is what it is. This is the story. You need to either accept it or get out. If you have any complaints, here's the mobile number for my boss. So he takes down the number and he gets all like, what's your name? And this and that. And he's like, I'm going to be complaining about you. You fucking cunt. Like you're so disgusting and this and that. And like, I'm like, oh my God. So what? You got approached and you felt like what? You're so angry that someone approached you in a cinema, in an adult store, that you're being like this? Like, whatever. This rattled me though to the point where it was like the straw that broke the camel's back or whatever. Like the karma was that he actually left his phone, I think, on the counter. And so he walked out finally. Like it took forever to get him out of the store. And there was nobody else in the store either. So I was alone with this guy who was just, his anger was just overwhelming. Thank God he left. Fuck you for leaving your phone in the store. That's karma. So after he left, I locked the front door. I make sure there's nobody. Like if anyone came down from the cinema, I had a big sign up, like lock the register, went out back, closed the door, and I called my boyfriend. It was like maybe 5:36 in the morning. And I'm like, you need to come get me, like, please. Like, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I hate this job. I hate it. Like, when I started working at the store, it was very cool. A lot of funny stories, which will most likely be some story time videos later in this channel. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So I go back into the store. Everything's, you know, fine. Like, the cleaner comes in. The next person comes in. I vent about my night. And I'm just like, I can't. It was the first time I had ever cried at that job. The next day, my boss was like, why did you close the store for about 10 minutes from this time to this time? He's like, you closed the doors for 10 minutes. That's business that we could have had. Like, I don't understand why you did that. And I was like, I needed a breather. I needed to go out back. Keep in mind, we never got breaks at this job. We never got breaks or lunches. Like, if someone else was in the store, you could quickly leave and come back. We never had allocated or allotted breaks or lunches. So I'm like, I needed 10 minutes. Like, I needed to chill out. I had a really horrible night. It was a graveyard shift. Like, it was a Saturday night. Like, it was fucked. Like, I just needed a breather. And he just ripped into me for closing the doors for 10 minutes. So that then sealed it. That confirmed it, that it was not a place for me to work. So there you go. That's the story about the first time that I cried at my adult store job and when I knew I wanted to quit. So definitely leave a comment down below if you have any similar stories or if you'd like to hear more adult store stories. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye!